Hey everybody, it's Justice for Comics. It is Saturday morning. I didn't get a chance to do this video yesterday, just had too much going on. So I want to do a review of the Hot 10 list comics for the week by CBSI. Comes out usually every Friday evening, so I'm going to review that. Also got a couple things in the mail yesterday. My Immortal Hulk number 25, that is the 1 in 25 Sarantino variant. Really love this cover. It's one of my favorite covers that's come out in the last few weeks, and probably in my top 10 for the year. I just think it's awesome. The image that he created there is just fantastic. So got this in the mail. Now I definitely pre-order this way in advance off of a website, an online website. Definitely paid more than I should have. So I think the shop knew that, so they sent me a bunch of books with it for free. They sent me what's this, God Killer number 1, kind of a cool looking book. Artwork is definitely interesting. Very dark kind of book. I'm going to read that, see if that's any good. This was a book that I was actually thinking about buying anyways, because I've had a couple people tell me it's really good. Strike Force number 1, regular A cover. That came with it as well, which is nice. I've been kind of interested in this. I heard the story is really, really good. Artwork looks decent. So yeah, that should be a good one to look at. Another book I've heard good things about is Invaders. So this is Invaders number 7. Pretty cool. I think Butch Geis is doing I think some of the early issues he was doing the artwork. I know Chip Zdarsky's the writer. Yeah, it says Butch Geis and Carlos Magano. Yeah, that's definitely Butch Geis's artwork right there. Yeah, so that should be good. Another book came with it, Invisible Woman number 1. Nice cover by Adam Hughes. I'm not really into Mark Waid's writing, but yeah, I mean, it was free, so I'll take it. Another one, Swordmaster number 1. I know this was what kind of is manga, basically a manga book. That's what it looks like, so I'm not too familiar with it. And last but not least, Valkyrie number 3, Jane Foster Valkyrie, excuse me. John's Comics with Kids says this is an awesome story. Yeah, I mean, I'll read it, see if it's any good. Maybe I'll start picking up the issues or pick up trade on it. I don't know if I showed this earlier in the week. I got my Batman Beyond 37. That's on this list, the Hot 10 list for the week, so we'll be looking at that, see where the prices are on that. So let's jump into it, guys. Hot 10 list. Number 10. Luna Snow number 1. This is the In-Hook Lee 1 in 100 ratio Virgin variant. It says Riding on the Coattails of White Fox number 1. This one is similarly non-existent out there. A couple sales at $75 for a VF minus copy, and $250 for a very fine near mint copy. So yeah, I don't know what the print run on that is, but I think the A cover, I don't think most shops were gonna get 100 issues of Luna Snow number 1. So yeah, that's probably a really rare book, justifying those prices. Number 9 on the list, Amazing Mary Jane number 1, the Art Germ Chalk variant. Most stores didn't even know this was out there. It was just put on the shelf with all the other books. From what I've heard, it's about a 1 in 10 of the Art Germ regular variant. So for most stores, they probably got 1 or 2 copies. At that rate, the $10 to $15 doesn't seem like a bad deal. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice cover. Art Germ's a great artist, but there's no first appearances, and it's Amazing Mary Jane. So Amazing Spider-Man is not a good book these days. The fact that Amazing Spider-Man doesn't sell, I don't even think it does 75,000 a month in sales. I think it's way below that, which is pathetic. Spider-Man is one of the premier characters in Marvel. That book, Amazing Spider-Man should be selling 80 to 100,000 copies a month minimum. And it's not because it's not good. I bought the first 4 or 5 issues. I just didn't think Nick Spencer brought anything fantastic to it. It was just kind of mediocre. Ryan Ottley's artwork is okay, but I don't know. I guess I'm expecting something different, and I'm not alone, obviously, in this, because I've had a lot of other people tell me the same thing. So if I'm not buying and reading Amazing Spider-Man, why would I read Amazing Mary Jane, who's a side character who should probably never have her own series? It's kind of like Lois Lane from DC, right? I mean, at best, you can expect to have a 6 to maybe 10 issue miniseries, and it won't sell well. Even if you had a great writer on it, it's just that character is just not a character that people are gonna buy consistently. They just aren't. So that's my opinion on that. Number 8, Soulfire preview. We are just living in a what book is the actual first appearance world. So what is the first appearance of Soulfire? Some say here this one has seen some action with a Fathom and Soulfire media announcement. This has gone up from $15 to $25 to $30 to $35. I don't know. I don't think I have any Soulfire books anymore. I think I sold them all. Back in the day, the artwork by Michael Turner was excellent. Very, very good artwork. His storytelling wasn't that good, I didn't think. The Soulfire series was okay. It wasn't, it just wasn't. I don't know. I think the best artwork. I think the best work Michael Turner ever did was he did Superman, Batman, a couple issues of that, and he did the artwork, interior and cover, and I have multiple copies of those issues that he did, and that was, in my opinion, Michael Turner's best work. He did a fantastic job on Superman, Batman, Superman rather. I was back in the, what was that? Back in the early mid '90s. He did that. Early 2000s. Yeah. I know he passed away several years ago, but yeah, it's still cool to see some of his stuff moving on the market. I know once in a while there's still a cover that comes out that he did on a new issue, so that's kind of cool. Number 7 on the list, Justice League, number 1 from 1987. Looks like a $10 to $15 book. It says, but be honest, who doesn't have a raw copy of this? I didn't, so I don't know. I don't think that, and I've looked in a couple of comic book shops. No one had it in their back issue bins. So I don't think this is a super easy book to find. It's the first appearance of Maxwell Lord, who is going to be in the new Wonder Woman 1984 movie. They also mentioned Wonder Woman 219. That book could be also another hot book to have. That is where Wonder Woman snaps Max Lord's neck and kills him. So I remember that. I think I have a couple issues of that, and it had a really nice cover too, if I remember right. I think it was a J. Jones cover. I'll have to dig that out of my collection, but yeah. So 9/8s are on the move. $130 to $140 range for this. Probably hard to find. I found one on eBay for pretty cheap, right around $10, and it's a VF plus, so that's fine for me. A book that old, it's an older book. Very fine plus is a good grade for that book. White cover is kind of tough to find and super really high grade. Batman Beyond number 6 on the list. Number 37. Cool cover by Lee Weeks. I like the cover on it. And I did, of course, I picked one up here for cover price. And I checked eBay. It's going for about $18 to $20 pretty consistently. I don't see any for 15. You know, if you include shipping, you see buy it now for 15, but then you got to add in $2, $3 for shipping. So that's about the going price for it. First appearance of Batwoman in the Batman Beyond universe. We'll see long term. I don't know that this book will really stay up there, but traditionally, I think the only issues that have done well are the first Batman Beyond, that original series. Those issues have done well, but I think most of them have kind of gone up and then gone right back down. So yeah, we'll see. Number 5 on the list is Thorn, Tales from the Lantern. This is a Jeff Smith book. I'm not really aware of this book. It says it's a hyper rare book that predates Bone by a long shot. There was one that sold for a 9.0 this week for $4,800. Wow. Really? $4,800? That's what you prefer to buy? You wouldn't want to take that money and go buy a Incredible Hulk 181, a decent grade. You could buy a nice, probably an 8.0 at least, 8.5 copy for that price, right? I don't know. It seems like money wasted in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, okay, so there's a cartoon that comes out on Bone. So you're telling me that's going to really drive the price even more on these books? I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's a rare book, but demand cannot be that heavy for that book. I don't know. I think long term I wouldn't put lots of money into a book like that. Number 4 on the list, Marvel Celebrates Stan Lee. Yeah, this has been on here a while. I don't know why they don't take it off. No one's trading this book. It's not being sold on eBay. CBSI, take it off your list. It doesn't belong there anymore. I don't even know why it's on here. No one's buying and selling this book. That's stupid. It shouldn't even be on there. So, not that anybody from CBSI will even watch my videos, but if they happen to come across it, that would be my criticism of your list. That doesn't even belong there. Get it off. Number 3, Ray number 0. This is the first appearance of Bloodshot. Obviously, the trailer dropped this past week. That's why it's on here. I guess there's a couple versions of that issue. There's a glossy cover, a regular cover, and there's also one where I guess the color wasn't applied properly. And the prices are on the move, as you would expect. 9/8s, CGC 9/8s are hitting highs of $300 again. I think that book blew up a year or two ago when they announced that it was being optioned for a movie, and they announced Vin Diesel was going to star in it. You know, the book blew up. And then, of course, a couple months later, no one really thinks about it anymore, and the price drops back down. So that's kind of common. That's the problem with buying something right when a trailer drops, is usually you're going to be paying that high price. Number 2 on the list, John Byrne's X-Men number 14. I guess this is on here because Topher from CBSI mentioned it. I don't know. I guess there's a Hellboy appearance. It says it's going from the dollar bins to $25 plus. But this seems to be insane, but this is the current market we live in. I agree with that comment. The market is absolutely bubbly high, so be very careful out there. I think a lot of the speculations that people are getting into, I think it could end up bad for a lot of people. You know, first appearances tend to hold their value over time, but I don't know, when they spike the way they've been spiking, I don't know. I think you could be waiting a while to just get back to break even. So just be careful. Number 1 on the list, Marvel Action Spider-Man number 10, the John Boy Myers 1 in 10 variant. Yeah, it's a cool looking cover, but man, $120 to $150? That seems excessively expensive, but yeah, you go on eBay right now. So that would be one, if you had that in your collection and you only paid 10 or 12 bucks or 15 bucks for it, man, this is the time to unload that puppy. Because I will bet you money in about 3 weeks, this will be back below 100 bucks. Probably around $60 to $70. And then another month goes by, it'll be probably down to $40, $50. So if you own that book, this is the time to sell right now while it's on the top 10 list of CBSI's list. So congratulations if you happen to pick one of those up. I would sell it right now. Put it on eBay like a couple of those other people are doing. All right, guys, that is your Hot 10 list from CBSI for the week. My comments, obviously some of these on here I don't think should be on there. I don't really view, maybe 3 or 4 of them only belong on the list, the rest don't. So, yeah, that's my opinion. If you own some of these books and they're going for these prices, I would unload. I would sell them right now. Good time to sell. All right, guys, that's it. That's your Hot 10 list. I'm going to have another video out probably later today on the cover price top 20 list. I'll go over that list and see if it's somewhat similar to this one. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think of this video. Maybe you disagree with me? Maybe some of these books belong on here in your opinion. Let me know that in the comments, and I'll see you guys later today. Thanks.